Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Geeks and Degenerates. To all you loving geeks and degenerates, welcome back. Today, we're talking about Trese, the first anime series that brings Filipino mythology to the world, and we are very excited to talk about it. Question for the board: did you hear about Trese before the series, and what were your expectations going in, and what were your expectations? What did you think of it overall by the end?
Who's gonna
Like,
start?
I mean, I'm gonna do it. But yeah, to be honest, I have never heard of Tressa before. Like, I mean, I think I've seen it in fully book from here to there, but it never caught my interest because I never, you know, was into comic books all that much. But uh, once I saw the trailer for it, and I've been wanting like some kind of like John Constantine esque, but related to the Philippine mythology. I wanted that kind of shit, so I was like, yeah, I'm in. I'm in. I'm all in. And plus, she's kind of cute, so
Kinda.
she's
Kind of.
okay. Fine. She's fine. She's stupid fine.
Yeah,
Yeah. Oh,
uh,
sorry.
that's
No, cut him off. Cut him off. Do it
let's
now.
can
Speak.
have the
Edward.
Canadian go first.
Oh God. I'm not in Canadian yet, bro. Shit. I'd seen it floating around before, just like, because I did read a bunch of comics when I was younger, but I never really checked it out because I was never into just like horror thriller kind of shit. So, when I heard that this was getting an adaptation, and like on Netflix, no less, like, the first thing that kind of came into my mind was like, oh shit, we're getting Filipino shit now. So, like, I just, I was down with that shit, and I saw the character art, and like Jomer said, that's a kind of a fine apple. So, uh, hella
Kinda.
fine apple, hella fine apple.
She doesn't show much, but yet you know.
She crazy stupid fine.
She
Like,
crazy.
Sexy's not defined by the skin you show, dog. Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
it's the energy, bro.
It's the
yeah,
energy.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so going into the show, I didn't really know what to expect, except it was like just horror, Filipino folklore. And I came out of it really happy. I watched it, and I just, I need more, bro. I want
I
more.
need more.
Got any more of those Trese episodes?
Dave Chappelle just. Got any
Not
more?
anymore. Not anymore. But yeah, I saw Tressa floating around the local Comic Cons, and I know my sister and uh, mom really got into it, so I was curious about it. And then when I saw it was getting a Netflix adaptation, I was like, this is exciting to see Filipino mythology getting its spotlight on the global stage. And it's really exciting stuff to show the world what is part of our culture. And going into it, I had high hopes, and coming out of it, I was very surprised. And I'm very pleased with the show. I think Tress is a really great character. I can't wait to see where she goes in season 2. And as most of the board says, she is super fun.
I love how he's so neutral about it. Yeah, she's kind of fine.
Sure.
Yeah. Sub.
Yep.
Well, I am very familiar with the local comic scene. I didn't really have time to check out much of the local stuff, but in every single one of the conventions I went to, I've spotted Enzo there a couple times. Um, the longest lines at Comic-Con always, or IndieCon, which is a couple of our local smaller comic conventions. The longest lines would always be for a couple of creators. It was always for Kajo, it was always for Budget, and it was always for Manix Abrera. So the local fan base for like uh the Trese comics has always been huge and really faithful. Um, and Kajo and Budget are really well loved. I was sad I never was able to pick it up myself before the show came out. Uh, so I had, to say the least, high expectations. Um, because Tres is supposedly really good material, really smart material. And Kajo's art has always been fucking tremendous. I'm very sad I still haven't been able to secure myself some art from him, but tis what tis. Um, so I had a lot of expectations going into the show. One of the most important of which was the respect for not just the original material, but how they present the Philippines within this. Because if they didn't, then it would feel whitewashed and inauthentic. So I was really hoping that they would respect the material and the source of that material. So, uh, if additional parts of this question is what do I think of it overall, um, I think this sets the standard for animation to a degree. Like, if you are gonna animate something dark and centered around all of this spooky yuki yuki devil demon ghost shit, Trese is a benchmark for that. Like, if we can get the same animators for a Spawn show, that would be the bee's knees. It really
Fuck, I
Um,
would
would
be.
love that. I would love that.
Like, the same animators of Trese on Spawn would fucking kill it. The color grading, the little Easter eggs, like that one panel of a Philippine flag in the sky. That shit is
yes.
smartly done. It's beautifully animated. This show's complete eye candy. Um, and everyone's already said what they said about you know Xandra herself, bossing herself.
Bossing.
Yeah, she fine as hell. She fine as hell. But I will say that Trece to me is an 80% experience. Like, um, most of it was great, but the parts that suck keep it from being perfect.
Hmm.
But yeah, that's what I think about it overall. But I do love it, and I wish it the best in its future seasons and you know other expansions because it looks like the fan base fucking loves it. It's
Yes.
number 7 in Canada, right?
Yeah.
Netflix, yeah. So it's doing really well, not just here, and people are watching it in multiple languages
Yeah.
because weebs.
Uh,
Uh,
hey, the voice acting for the Japanese version is really fucking good.
yes.
Now, of course, you'd say that.
Oh, duh.
Well, let's go over to what we think about Tressa herself as a character. I think she's one of the most compelling characters I've seen in any series, and she's pretty cool and uh, very sure of what she's supposed to do in this life. That she's supposed to be the protector of humanity against the darker forces of Filipino mythology.
Hmm.
What do you guys think of Tressa's character?
Like shit. I don't know. I just really like the whole goth chick look. Sorry, man. I just
What
gotta
Jummer's
appreciate
trying to say is like he's part of that generation of toxic men who
it.
fell in love with Chigo, Raven, Ember,
Oh, okay.
Sam.
Okay. Okay, not really. I was more of a Starfire kind of guy, but all right.
Okay.
But
Blackfire.
man got me there. The man got me there. But I
You
mean,
thought
like,
you had one over me, but you didn't.
he always has the one step ahead. But yeah, Tress is a fucking badass character. Like, I didn't really. I thought she was gonna be more John Constantine, as like John Constantine doesn't really do combat. He more like plays it out in his head. He
Yeah.
strategizes. He prepares hours and hours before going into a fight. Tressa is a little bit more like, forward about it. I mean, she's more hands-on. She's more like, she knows martial arts and shit. So I'm like, I'm into it. And like, if you've seen the martial arts in this, should I call it an anime or an animation?
I was actually gonna ask you guys this: is anime defined by where it comes from, or is it a medium?
I don't know.
Can something count as an anime if it doesn't originate from Japan?
They count Avatar: The Last Airbender as an anime.
Is it?
I don't know. Don't ask me. I don't. I mean, I wouldn't mind.
I guess we can throw that shit to the people who will comment
Yeah.
on this. Let
Yeah.
us know.
Please comment.
Let us
Let
know
us
if anime is a medium or if it is particular to a certain part of the world.
Maybe
'Cause
anime
I
is just
can't
like a
tell.
play of words in Japan. It's kind of like a short for animation. I don't know.
I mean, that's
But
literally what it is.
I know,
Like,
but I'm just saying, maybe it's just
if you're
like
talking in
it's
the
just
most
words.
literal sense.
Yeah, just to separate them from Disney and any Western or any other country's animation. I don't know.
Can you imagine if anime had like Disney style intros?
Oh, hmm.
I mean,
Yamete!
there's that one with the whole Mount Fuji thing. Oh, wait, like hentai studios having their own
Hey!
Disney intro.
No, 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 no,
No, no, no, no,
no,
no,
no.
Come on.
I have a joke, but like
Studio Milk.
I'm just gonna do that for after the podcast. It's a risky joke,
Pink
so
pineapple.
All right. Oh my god. All right, back to Trese. And
Yeah.
what do you think of Trese as a character, Edwin?
Yeah.
I really like Trese as a character. Like,
Mm.
she's
simp.
Yeah.
damn. I've said like 5 words, bro. I mean,
We
you're
already
not
know.
wrong. I mean, you're not wrong, but yeah, no. Jomar already touched on a lot of the points I do like about Trese. She's very hands-on, and I like. She has very good characterization throughout the entire show, and I'm really interested in her story, and just the flashbacks of how she like got to where she is. While I do have my own set of problems with how they fit into the show overall, do provide some really good and necessary insight into us as the audience understanding and connecting with the character. So, uh, problems notwithstanding, I like that they were in there, and I'm excited to get to know more about Treste and how she goes about her role as sort of this bridge between the human world and the world of the supernatural.
So,
Oh right. Um, isn't she just Doctor Strange and Ghost Rider and Constantine
All that
put
and
into
just
one person?
a slash blade kind of deal.
Yeah, a bit of blade in there because
yeah.
she
Yeah.
actually has a blade. Who's her sister? Let me fuck you up with my sister. Um, I like
Spoilers.
I like Tress as a character. I think she's very nuanced. But I think the show does suffer from its length. Um,
Yes, definitely.
the problem that could arise from Tress is she just seems really set. Like I didn't feel that much struggle from Trese at all.
Yeah, I can see that.
Not that the situations were easy, but she didn't have any conflict with these situations. Uh, and I would have liked to see a more conflict within Trese over this, rather than like she's just like just pulls a Vin Diesel and it's just like family, and then everything just kind of falls into place. She's a nuanced character with with a lot of interesting aspects to her. I like the fact that as a combatant, she's very impressive. As a person who's knowledgeable what she's supposed to do in terms of incantations and her detective mode shit. When she's investigating and like the goggles just come on and she's just like, oh, okay, footprints. Like, I think she's a very interesting character. I think she has a good backstory to her. I think she's fucking terrifying. She's also very hot. Of course, it goes without fucking saying. She's actually hotter than how she looks in the comics. Um, uh, I just have a problem with the fact that I think everything fell into place super fast and that we got an already developed Trese rather than
Yeah.
a Trese that was like on her way to really figuring out her role and what she's supposed to do. Like we got the Trese who was already there.
Yeah.
Knows all of her shit
Um,
already.
yeah. Like she's over any fucking conflict or struggle that she may have had in the past, and we just skip straight the best version of Trese.
Yeah.
Which I guess is okay, but like I could have done with a bit slower
Yeah, I could
development
see
on
that.
her.
I feel like
Um,
2 more episodes would have helped the show a lot.
I think 4 more would have helped the show.
Mm.
Actually, it's 6 episodes. I think 6 more would have been great.
Yeah,
12 episodes
Yeah,
for Trese would have been
ideally.
perfect. Yeah.
yeah. That'd be
Maybe
great.
13
Um.
episodes for Trese, please.
Maybe it's like a whole, experimental thing. See what the
Yeah.
people think, and then
I mean, that
once
is what
like
it
people
is.
like it, yeah. So like once people like it, they'll put more episodes into the next
They
season.
sort of did the same thing with Castlevania.
Yeah, Castlevania
Exactly.
like 4
Four,
episodes. I think.
4 episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yun nga, I just feel like the development of Trese's story could have been slower and more patient. But for a show that seems to have needed to fit a certain amount of story for a certain number of episodes, this is pretty well executed. I just wish we could have gotten a bit more dimension to Trese and everyone else. Like I would have liked to know more about yung the Kambals and uh the other mythological creatures
More
like
on the Tikbalan and
horsemen.
shit. Yeah,
Yeah,
Tikbalan.
yeah. You got a lot of those in just like super brief flashbacks, but like everything about this show feels like a really good advertisement for the Trece comics,
Yeah.
rather than like
Yeah.
rather than like a fully fleshed out show. But yeah, as a character, Trece is cool as fuck. She's really cool, and she's simp master general. Like anyone who looks at this woman is gonna be instantly like, I want one. I want one. But yeah.
Fund me, please.
What do you guys think of the supporting characters, and who was there any favorites among them? My favorite was Captain Guerrero. I like the fact that he's kind of the James Gordon to her Batman, and he's always like,
Yeah.
"This is beyond my pay grade. What the fuck?"
Yeah,
am I
just
doing?"
another mythological creature.
Yeah.
A non-corrupt cop. Oh my god! Like,
Captain Guerrero sets unrealistic standards for cops.
Mhm.
my god, I don't know. That man carried when he's on screen. The voice actor and the character in general just carried the scene so much. Like you didn't like. There was one episode where you didn't. Tressa was barely there, and it was all on Captain Guerrero,
Yeah.
and it was so good, and I loved it. And there was zombies, and they're shooting
The
zombies. and I
Walking
like
Dead
that.
scene, yeah.
Yeah, that shit was badass. And you could really tell the character development of Captain Guerrero. I would say Captain Guerrero is also Guerrero is like one of my favorite like secondary characters.
Yeah, the guy has balls of steel shooting a bazooka at the God of War. It's like, all right, go Captain
I mean,
Guerrero.
to be honest, from the God of War, I was expecting him to do something worse than just snap his neck. I don't
Yeah.
know.
May I just
Yeah.
say, one of the most unrealistic things about Trece is just the amount of weaponry available. When the fuck did we have so many guns? We've
When
never
the fuck
had
did the
this
cops
many
get an
guns.
RPG?
No,
An RPG I could understand, but just these cops, like the Philippine Armed Forces, just being this ready for a conflict like this, just doesn't add up to me.
and I was like, wait, do we have Humvees? We don't have Humvees.
Right?
I think we do.
okay,
fairness,
okay,
I think
Yeah, we
okay,
do.
okay.
Who the fuck carries a revolver around?
Captain Guerrero. That's it.
Actually, to be fair, that one's realistic.
Yeah, they do.
Most of our cops, most of our security guards, they're
No,
mostly carrying revolvers.
the ones I'm shocked about is them carrying a deagle around. Like that thing I
Yeah.
don't see.
Yeah.
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 Like
Talk about
goddamn.
Can we talk about how many weapons fucking Hank has though?
Yeah, in his trunk. Yeah. Like, hey, if you're talking about
Like-
simp, there we go. Hank is a simp.
Hank is a simp.
That show is like MIB, like full on.
Hank feels about Nova the way everyone else feels about Trese.
Truly. I'm a big
Oh.
fan, not the creepy kind, just the normal
It's the
kind.
regular fan.
Comes in with
Like,
guns. I'm like, I'm kind of scared now. Just saying.
Dude, like, even if you're scared of them, you still gotta be scared of Crispin Basilio and their tracer rounds.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, they definitely spend a lot of money on those skins. With the
I think
purple
it-
bullets and, I
No,
love
they
Crispin
got
and
cheats
Basilio.
on.
I
They
like
got
the
They're
cheats
my
on.
they're my favorite characters on the show, Crispin and Basilio. I still can't tell them apart because twins to me are just one dude. I know
Crispin
one
is
of them
short
has.
hair.
Okay,
Crispin is short hair.
okay, I'm not gonna remember that.
Alright.
Just so you know, like Crispin and Basilio, just one guy. Uh,
I'm
I
not gonna lie. Yeah.
I think they're fun. I think I like their ability to have fun with situations where Tres is just done. Like Tres is always just already done with the situation while she's taking care of it, and Crispin and Priscilla are just like, yes. I saw that meme yesterday of Crispin and Basilio go like this, and like Tres is just in the middle, just fucking no energy, no energy, high
Yeah.
energy, high energy.
I love that. I love that one scene though. It like defied Filipinos, where Crispin and Basili were just like, "Wait." It's just chicks. I'm like, yeah, we did this before.
I was like, hey.
Another thing this show is just completely lied to us about and it was so obviously made by white people. Like this is such an Americanized show. How dare they? How dare they set unrealistic standards for how big a chalk nut would be?
Right?
Yeah.
It's such a big chalk nut.
I think that's just like copyright, honestly.
I would love to have a chalk nut that big. To
Me
be
too.
honest,
Dude,
I mean it would
that
crumble, but I
episode-
mean,
Yeah.
That episode was the last time the chalk nut was that big. You notice the next times they saw Nuno, it just got smaller and smaller.
And it just
It's
became
like, oh,
regular
right.
size Chuck Nut.
Yeah.
no, you gotta love how they got.
The one chalk nut that ate the Mario mushroom.
you gotta love how like in this they casted like a shit ton of Filipinos for voicing the characters, and you gotta love them like Shay Mitchell, Liza,
Shay
sorry.
Mitchell, yeah.
Yeah, like all these Filipino voice actors: Shay Mitchell, Liza Sobrano, Stephen
Dante
Bloom.
Basco.
Dante Basso, dude.
Dante Basco's
fucking
here.
Basco.
Yeah, but it really shocked me that Stephen Bloom was in this one though. I was like,
Right?
Stephen Bloom just said "putang ina."
Who's Stephen Bloom?
Datu Talagbagsaw.
Stephen Bloom voiced Spike Spiegel in Cowboy Bebop, Samurai Champloo.
He was Darkseid
Mugen.
in Justice League War.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah. He voiced a lot of
Wow.
people.
Yeah. I love the fact that
Yes.
Hank has a car that you still have to crack down the windows to open.
I mean, it's a nice car.
Yeah.
It is a nice car.
Hindi ka dito, putang ina mo.
Halika dito, putang ina mo.
I just don't completely understand how Crispin and Basilio are in their 20s, but can't quite figure out a crank window.
I mean, they did. I don't fucking.
I think they grew
No,
up.
I mean, like, no, dude,
Yeah,
like,
weird
look,
normally.
who's the youngest here?
I think it's
Who's the youngest here right now? How old are you, Edwin?
I'm 22.
Okay,
Oh.
do you know how to work a crank window?
Yes.
Then why can't they? They live in the Philippines. Pretty much all of our taxis still have crank windows.
That's true.
So why
you
can't
could
they
have
work
like a
crank windows?
you could have like a 2021 Honda Hyundai accent, and it still has a crank window.
Why can't? Why did they think pulling it was the idea?
I don't fucking know.
I don't know.
I'm kind of in agreement with Seb. As far as like side characters go, like Crispin and Brasilia are fucking amazing. Like I
Yeah.
love them.
They're memeable in so many ways.
They're so fucking memeable, and critically speaking, they bring a nice balance to the show. Because like you have Trese, and you have Captain Guerrero, who are always like fucking broody, sad and shit. And then
They have so
like,
much problems.
Yeah,
They
like,
have
like,
these two.
like you have Trese and Captain Guerrero crying and screaming in the rain, and meanwhile Crispin and Basilio are just like, and like it they round out the show really nicely. I will say though that I again, and this goes back to the show's length. Like 6 episodes is not enough for the show.
Yeah,
It was not.
I needed more time with these side characters, bro. Like
yeah.
that's the thing that about the show that frustrates me the most is that they have so much good material to work with, and like you can see it. There's just so much in this world that is just waiting to be explored, and we've barely touched the surface of it.
Yeah.
It felt like an advertisement for the real show.
Yeah,
Pretty
For the
yeah.
much.
comic
It was
book.
like an extended ad for Trese.
This is the problem with shows like these that like people aren't sure are gonna succeed. Like the length is obviously a result of like either a low budget or Netflix is having like cold feet with a show like this. Like they're not sure if it will succeed, so they don't want to invest that much in it. Uh, but the problem is, I think they should have invested more into the show than the star power that they put in it.
Ooh.
That's probably for the negatives.
Ooh.
The show is very front loaded.
Yeah. What do you
Yeah.
guys
I will
think
say
of some
that.
of the villains from Datu Talibuksa to Mayor Santa Maria? I just found
Again,
out.
I just wish we had more time with him, dude.
Yeah.
Mayor Santa Maria is fucking gross.
I'm sorry. Yeah, that shit grossed me out when he made
Yeah.
dinuguan with his own flesh. I'm like,
oh god.
I like dinuguan, please, no.
Dude, once Ina fucking saw it, she was like, ugh. Like,
How do you survive? Just
dude,
cutting up your belly.
that was my other question. Like, I can see your intestines. How are they still there? Like, how are they kept in place?
How are you not bleeding out? I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure there's like nerves
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How are you not feeling this?
Dude, at that point, I was like, "Oh shit! This is what the Catholics are imagining when they're like going to communion. Like, this is my body; it will be given up for you." Ugh.
I think it's like, I think that was the purpose. It was like a bastardized version
Dude,
of
he made
that.
literal dinuguan.
Yeah.
Dinuguan is made out of blood, man. So what do you
Yeah,
mean?
No, I mean like he made it out of like not the materials you're used to. Like I like that little detail of it was like brown.
Yeah, yeah.
Like the
Yeah.
stew was brown. Yeah, it was like, oh wow, dinuguan, just with different meat.
If it was like any other show, it would have been just like a pot that's just red and there's like a
Yeah.
tomato or a carrot sticking out of it.
Yeah, yeah. But here it's
Yeah.
just like, nope. When blood gets cooked, it turns brown. You stupid Americans don't know that.
I bet you didn't know that. Ah.
Ah.
I just found this out recently that Mayor Santa Maria is voiced by John Arcila, who was General Luna.
General.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love
Nice.
that actor. But yeah.
It's great.
Well, I kept changing the dub every time it came to his scene because I wanted to hear his voice. It's like, yep, that's him. I love that voice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that actor. He's a really good actor.
Yeah. And I think Trese's father is voiced by Raymond Bhagat Singh, who was Quezon in Quezon's film.
What's up, Amara?
Hey, hi, Omar.
Hey, Amara.
What's up, Amara? How you doing?
What do you guys think? You guys think the show presented Filipino lore in a good way overall to the rest of the world?
90% yes.
Yes.
They represented the culture really well. They were. If you want to know my thoughts on this in a vague manner, there's a review up in Culture Vid. No spoilers, so it's completely
Yeah,
safe.
yeah.
We'll link it down below.
Please visit Culture Pit right after this.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think they presented the culture really well, and not just in a way that feels like it was from an immigrant's perspective. Some of it does, but for the most part, they portrayed how life here is really well, and in a way that like oftentimes even Filipinos are like afraid to admit. From our flawed justice system to how dirty Manila is.
Mhm.
I
To
will say they
corrupt
made trash look good.
politicians. Uh,
Yeah.
I mean, all things considered, yes, but yeah, I think they respected not just the material but the culture where it came from, and that was one of the things that I was like really worried about. Can this really feel like Manila? Because one of the things that I've always had a caveat about when it comes to like foreign Filipinos is like we give these fuckers a lot of praise, but like I've talked to a lot of them, they have no idea what it means to be from here. But Trese felt like it was from here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, like this is the difference between like let's say Dante Basco and Bretman Rock. Like Dante Basco's a Filipino, but Bretman Rock feels like he's from here. You know, that's how Trese felt to me. It was carefully done too. And Filipino mythology is not often that expounded upon. Like there aren't a lot of books detailing Philippine mythology in as much detail as we would like. And visually, the show was presented really well. When I was a kid, I had no idea how I would imagine a tikbalang.
Hmm.
I thought they were like centaurs.
Right.
That was what I imagined like a
Backwards.
tikbalang to be, just like a centaur from a different place. But you know, to find out that tikbalangs are actually werehorses. It
Yes.
was like, oh, so that's what you guys meant by what a fucking tikbalang was. Like, it gave me a really good visual representation of our Philippine mythological creatures. Um, but yun nga, it was very undercooked, underdeveloped for these creatures. Like the insights we got were great, but the lack of things that were there were also very much felt. The fact that there should have been more there, the fact that it feels like they didn't expound enough on things like the council, the agreements with the dad, all the time spent by Trese in the tree vagina. Like,
That
I
was
just,
the only one.
I, I was just like, I just feel like there was more we should have known about. There's more that we should have seen, and we didn't get to see that. Um, but yeah, did they respect the materials the Philippines portrayed well? Did they respect their culture? Very much so. I just wish it was longer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Trevor, what do you think? Oh, sorry. Edwin, go ahead.
Damn it.
Sorry. Sorry.
Go
Go
on,
ahead,
that's
man.
The Edwin cut.
Uh, I was just because like I just want to say like Seb made a lot of good points, and just I wanted to say with when it comes to representation of the Philippines, especially abroad, the Philippines a lot of the time is portrayed as a very like just like tropical beach country.
A jungle.
Yeah.
Yeah, like if you see tourism material of the Philippines, you'll see places like Bohol, Palawan, Boracay.
Yeah.
Siargao.
Sure. Sure.
Siargao. But you rarely ever see
Oh,
the Philippines as a good majority of its people know it. Like at
Yes.
least the people from Metro Manila, which is just uh, a place that's pretty fucking dirty, grungy, and really fucking sketchy at the time of night. Um, a bit off track, but can I just say that I love that the opening scene for Trese was the MRT stopping.
yeah.
In the middle
Yeah.
of the
Yeah.
It's like that's Philippines right there, bro.
No, but another thing about that,
100% accuracy.
about the first scene being the MRT stopping, is the reaction of the people. Like, the lack of surprise.
Yeah,
The lack of surprise and the
Uh,
lack of complaining is just Filipino as hell. They're just like, oh, it happened again. Yes, we're doing the walk again. This is just a normal night out. Are those fucking vampires?
No, but yeah, like what Seb mentioned also was like, yeah, how. Whoa, what was that?
there's a fucking moth in here.
Oh god.
I don't know how
Moth.
it's
But
in here, but
it's from the emissary. Run.
Light, lamp.
bro, I'm gonna fucking die. Eagles come for me. It's gonna take me to the MRT.
but yeah, so yeah, like if you see, like when they had a shot of the computer shop, and when they made Jobber, like he had like good tech, like cause computer screens still there, and yeah. But once he got to the police precinct, you see their dinosaur PCs. I was like, shit, it's like the LTO. Fuck. Like you see, like the government's not really putting that much money into essential shit. Which,
Yeah,
so I was like, damn, this is very accurate. Like
Yeah.
these people know what the Philippines is, kind of
Yeah.
like.
yeah.
I
Yeah,
mean, to be fair though, budget's from here. So, like, that's the only way he could write it, because he's from here.
Yeah, yeah.
He's not just, like, doing cultural appropriation shit. Like, he lives it.
No. No,
So,
I'm not saying that he was not from here. I'm saying like because usually when you give like material to like another studio, they would like fix it up a bit. They would like give him a newer PC or something like that, or no, they kept it to the actual source material, which I'm thinking I've never read the
Comic.
I was gonna say manga, sorry, the comic book. But yeah, like they did also a really good job because I really thought this was gonna be like uh, Catholic superstition. No, no, this is like pure on Filipino, like old gods. These aren't like Catholic to Christian mythologies or like any superstition. This is Filipino
Yes.
actual, and yeah, they did really good. I will complain that the tick balance a little bit odd because they got horns. I'm like, I don't know. I haven't seen one, but like, they're just a horse. Horse don't got horns.
Well,
I mean, like,
when you see
this
one
is
does,
Yeah, yeah,
this is a comic book after all. It's not necessarily supposed
Yeah.
to be picture accurate. Like,
Yeah.
I'm sure that these are all paraphrased visually, just
Yeah.
to make them more interesting. But like one thing that I love about this is the representation of class systems. You kind of know how life roughly runs for anyone, no matter what class system they're in. Like, you know how the rich are running, you know how the uber rich are running, you know how the middle class are, you know how the lower class are. You get a good example of that
Yeah.
throughout the series. So like it immerses you more because you understand what it means to be from here. No matter what class you're in, you understand to a certain degree what it means to be from here. And Trese incorporates that perfectly into the storyline. It doesn't feel like propaganda. It just feels
Yeah.
like this is woven into the fabric of what Trese is.
Yeah.
yeah,
And
Yeah.
it just says that like it's one of those things like why I'm saying that they couldn't have done it any other way, like even if they tried, because all of the actual Filipino struggles are woven into the narrative itself. This is not one of those situations where um it's like Iron Fist or something where it's a very Asian story and it doesn't have to be like a white male protagonist because it's a very Asian style story. Like it's not one of those situations where you could get away with saying something like that. In Trese, you have to do it as it was written because it was written very specifically. And if you didn't write it that way, then the story just wouldn't hit. You know.
Yeah.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
like a majority of the audience related to like some scenes, especially what.
Just
What?
cut off Edwin again.
Oh my god, I'm so sorry, Edwin. I'm so
No,
sorry.
it's fine. Go on. Go on.
Release the Edwin cut.
Uh,
It's gonna be
Go
soon.
on.
We'll have a drummer cut. Don't you worry.
oh, okay, yeah, awesome. It's on Gundam. Damn it. But like, I will say, my final thoughts on this one is just that, goddamn, I really did like hit the pause button a lot when it came to like the landscape and the cities. I was like, damn, I go there. Like I don't know, it was just nice
The
seeing
color
Makati.
grading.
Yeah, Makati just done so well, and
Yeah.
Escanita so pretty,
Yeah.
but
Artwork
yet
in
kind
the
of
show is
trashy.
done beautifully.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
The color grading was tremendous. The lighting was always perfect.
Yeah,
You know.
absolutely. And
Yeah.
to get back to what I was saying earlier, uh, that's sort of what I appreciate about Teresa's just the world and just the world building of it is sort of how closely tied it is with actual Filipino culture and how honest it is in approaching the just everyday Filipino life and intermingling that with Filipino folklore, which I think was also done very well. And yeah, of course, we like when compared to other systems of mythology, we don't have that much of it in writing. Like we have stories passed down like through word of mouth, but
Hmm.
other than that, we don't have much in the way of actual writing. So I think the show did very well with the concepts and like material it was given. And like when I was a kid, I used to be really into like Filipino folklore, and
True
the show
Philippine
still
Ghost Stories.
The shit you
Volume
buy in
1.
7-Eleven.
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah,
that
literally.
shit's good.
And watching the show, I still ended up like learning about other folklore creatures that I didn't fucking know about, like fucking Santelmo, or the fucking lightning people. I forget what they're called.
Yeah, I didn't know we had those.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know we had those.
Guys,
We had
Zuko
electric Ghost
fucking-
Riders.
Dude, Zuko finally mastered lightning bending.
Oh, yeah. And then he died.
Yeah. And I just like I really like a detail I really like about the show is how they intertwine the mythology of these creatures like the aswang and tikbalang into everyday Filipino things, like how the aswang are into shit like black market shit, right?
Mm.
And just underground criminal activity, and how the tikbalang fucking street race.
Yeah.
That was cool.
Yeah, I really like that detail, and it does help just make this world feel a lot more real and a lot more immersive.
Yeah.
Hmm.
What was your favorite episode or the episode that really stood out to you, and which mythological being did you like the most? For me, it was the Tikbalans. Because at first I was like, what is that? And then I remember, I was like, oh, right, I remember now. And then Sir Armando's kind of reminded me of like one of those souls bosses that are like, I don't want to fight that. He's
No,
gonna kill
the
me.
what?
He reminds me of one of those souls bosses, from Dark Souls or like
No, which character? Which character? Sorry.
Sir Armana's, the head of the Tikbalans.
Oh,
Big
okay,
guy.
got it.
Yeah. It's like I don't want to fuck with that guy. I'm gonna die 50 times if I fight him.
Uh, for me, like the episode that really stood out to me was the third one, and it was the one with the Chanak. That shit hurt. I was like, oh no.
What a
And she-
terrible person.
I know. No, it wasn't like her. Like, yeah, I kind of called it like it's her kid, and she's like kind of crazy about it. Like, oh, I would lose my career if I had you. Ah. But how the baby reacted to it, I'm like,
Oh.
oh my god, my heart. I was like, damn. No, that episode really impacted me, and also this Captain Guerrero's episode also stood out to me very much. And for the creatures, damn, I've always been scared of mananangals. Not anymore.
Mami Nanggal.
Mama
Mommy
Nanggal.
nang mama
Mama
nanggal.
Mama
Mommy
Nanggal.
nanggal.
I'm still scared of Manananggal, but now I'm both scared and aroused.
It's like a 50% off succubus kind of deal.
Sure.
Succubus. Is it me now?
Yeah, goodness.
I mean, my favorite mythological creature from the show is one we never really got any time with, and that was the Capre. I just think Capres are the coolest ever.
Yeah.
Because
I
they're
want
just
to
big. They're just big dudes chilling in a tree smoking. Like that's the life I live. Like, like I want to know more about the Capres and why the fuck they don't do anything much. Like the only thing I know about Capres is if you get hit by the ash, you'll stay lost in the forest forever.
God
But for the
damn.
most part, they don't do anything.
They're docile, but I mean, like, I don't know where they get their cigars though.
Cuba. Anyway,
Cuba.
Cuba. They're good friends with Fidel Castro. Authentic Cuban cigars. Yeah. I don't know, man. The tikbalangs are cool and all, but like, I don't really care for horse people. There's a part of me that just wants to turn them into steaks. I want to know what horse meat tastes like.
They're Japan.
Gagong layo. I mean the manananggals are hot and all, but like I still like, they suck your blood and shit. So, nah. But yeah, I just want to get to know the Capres, man. Like, show me more Capres. I don't know why the bad guy of this show had to be like a giant Datu.
Yeah, the god.
Yeah. You know what he reminds me of? And this is gonna really bum you guys out. You won't be able to unsee it. Remember the bad guy from Suicide Squad?
No.
Oh.
You cannot see it now, right? Like I couldn't get into this bad guy because all I could think of was him.
I mean, I didn't have that thought. Now you ruined it. I mean,
It's
he had
completely
more.
ruined now.
I mean, he had more character development than the one in Suicide
Yeah, I
Squad.
know, but every time I look at him, I'm just like, this is the dude from Suicide Squad.
The wife just like kept dancing.
Yeah, just Cara Delevingne going like, just doing a Cara Delevingne just doing Fortnite emotes.
Cartoon
Well-
fucking
well,
flossing.
well, the giant tattoos fucking up Humvees. Just like
Cartoon just like
Just
Cara Delevingne flossing.
flossing.
But yeah, like that was my biggest problem with him. I couldn't unsee the Suicide Squad's main villain.
Oh god.
Like every time I looked at him, I'm just like, it's a Suicide Squad guy. I can't unsee it. It's Suicide Squad guy.
Knowing that there are 2 crack shots into this squad.
Like there was
Like,
a
it does
part of
not
me.
help.
There was a part of me that just wanted to pause it in the middle and just be like, Ina, I can't take this guy fucking seriously. Like we were trying to really catch up on this because I had to do a review on it, but like, I wanted to pause in the middle so badly and just go like, this is the dude from the Suicide Squad. It's like, this is like Enchantress's brother, Cara Delevingne's inexplicably of African origin brother. Like, I just can't unsee it with this guy. Like, how am I supposed to take you seriously when you look like the dude shooting random laser beams at them? Like, yeah,
I do like the detail of every time he gets hit with an RPG, half his face is gone.
Right, he just
Oh,
goes
yeah.
2-face. I'm like,
Yeah.
damn.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
that was one of the most saddest parts of the show is when Captain Guerrero died. I was like, God damn it, why? He was
How about you, Ed? Like, what's
Did he stay dead? I can't remember.
Yeah, he stayed
he
dead.
stays dead.
He's dead.
Oh man, Latino heat. No, not again.
Omni-Man, no!
Oh, I'm sad now.
Yeah.
So next season we'll get Captain Guerrero's skinny, less charismatic cousin. Chiquito.
No, it gets taken over by his best friend, Capitan Benoist.
Oh God! Before we go any deeper into this,
I'm
whole
not going into deeper anything
yeah, we're
deeper
not-
than that.
Yeah.
To answer the question,
Gago! Ah! Oh man, wait.
Cutting off Edwin.
No, like I just have to slip this in. It's Captain Guerrero's friend Crispin. Last name Wah.
I knew where he was going with this. God damn it! Why?
Damn.
Yes, I
Anyway,
don't say no
that's
space.
Yeah. Speaking of Captain Guerrero, that was my favorite episode. Like, Captain Guerrero's episode was really fucking good, and just, like, not even just from an action standpoint, because the action in there was fucking spot on. I just like the bold-faced approach to how the actual justice system is in the Philippines, and just it's fucking real.
Is that
And-
one good cop in a sea of bad cops?
Mhm.
I'm like,
Yeah.
damn.
And that episode hits hard,
Hmm.
like
Yeah.
for all the right reasons.
Yeah.
And
That
As-
RPG hit pretty hard too.
yeah, so did the hand on his neck. So did the hand on Captain Guerrero's neck.
That's true.
Please.
Yeah. As far as my favorite mythological creature, I
Trese.
I just-
No, okay.
yes. Yes. It was Trese.
actually I want to know more about like the Diwata,
The what?
They
the
what?
wind people.
Oh.
Oh, yeah. Because they had. But yeah.
Not just because they're hot.
I'm sorry.
You know what? It's the lightning people.
Yeah, I want to see more of that shit.
I wanna see
You
more
know
of
why?
that.
You know why?
Why?
These
The
fuckers
Duncan
run
Master.
Meralco.
That's true.
Dude,
That is true.
straight up, right? They run it out.
Yes,
This
yes.
is real. That's the dude.
I
I
just
wonder
wanna
we're going
talk, bro.
dry.
And isn't Sir Armando
I just
supposed
want
to
to
be?
talk.
Isn't Sir Armando supposed to be like the head of the Ayala Corporation? Or
He
something?
is?
Yeah, he's supposed to represent him.
What? Oh yeah. Oh, remember one of the malls? Remember that lady who got eaten by the Chanak?
Mhm.
And I forgot what the mall was named. It was like Magna Mall. I think it was called like that. It was like it's supposed to be Mega Mall. It was like, oh, you son of a bitch, y'all clever.
Yeah.
I see what
Bro,
you did.
let's be
It looked exactly like Mega Mall 2.
It did.
honest.
did.
That's just Star Mall.
A little bit of
Let's be
Star
honest,
Mall.
That's just Star Mall.
Eno was
Yeah,
trying
that's
to
just
find
Star Mall,
out, like, Eno was trying to find out what Magna Mall was, and I was like, isn't it Mega Mall? Oh, Mega Mall! And I was like, all right, she's from the south. Like, to me, it was a dead giveaway there was Mega Mall, but like, yeah, this is definitely Mega Mall. Like, I like how most of this is in the north.
Look, I don't even know what Trinoma looks like. Like, I don't remember the layout of it.
Trinoma's just way too big. That's all I can say.
Yeah,
about
I
Trinoma.
remember
It's
it's way
big.
too fucking big.
And we've been to Moa more than once. Trinoma's just way too big.
I will say, like, a touch on the Guerreros episode. Like, I really thought I really thought, like, he'll be well off. And I love that detail where he's like, dude still has a 90s aircon.
Dude,
He doesn't lie or cheat or steal. He doesn't lie or cheat or steal. Oh, man.
You're saying, Edwin?
He's a good cop. Do you think he has money?
No. Like, I really thought, like, damn, I didn't expect him to live like this. And, like, how old he
I'll
is.
have you know now that if you work for the government, you don't have cash. Like, government employees are not the richest people, lalo na if they don't do anything wrong. For the most part.
Alright.
Oh, a little bit of call out there. But I will say,
Do you like
yeah.
the fact that Nova works at AB? Has
Hey,
ZNN?
ABC, ZNN.
And I was like,
Hey, ABC, ZNN.
I saw that, I was like, wait a minute. You motherfucker.
Wait a minute.
That's clever. That's really clever.
I was trying to figure out who Nova was like representing,
Not
but
honor,
then
pare.
Hmm?
Not honor.
Not honor.
Really now I'm gonna look.
Not honor, pare.
No Aurora. Like it's in the name.
Dude, her fans are called Novanians.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, I see it.
She's not honor.
Oh, that is so good. that is good. But sadly, they killed her.
She
Sadly,
deserved it.
Oh, right. She's an asshole.
she was the
Yeah,
worst.
she
She
was
was
an
the
asshole.
worst villain on that show.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's
Dude,
actually a piece
yep.
of shit.
Dude, si Enchantress, walang-wala kay, you know,
Nova.
Nora.
kay
Nova.
Novagas. Oh,
Before we move on to negatives, any more positives or praises you want to talk about?
The soundtrack.
yeah, that was a
fucking
dope
sick.
soundtrack. Even Up Dharma Down song for it. Like I was like, how the fuck is Up Dharma Down supposed to come up with something that would fit something like Trese? And they did, and I'm like, ooh. I love that distortion on the bass. Really smartly made song.
Yeah, it was.
Easily my favorite. Edwin. Easily my favorite Up Dharma Down song is that one.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
The ending though, I never skipped the ending. The ending was
I
so
love the ending
nice.
song.
The ending was so fucking nice.
That is it. That's the song.
Yeah.
That's the Ud song.
Yeah.
The Ud.
Up Dharma Down, man. Like too much
Yeah.
to say. Just say Ud.
Oh, okay. Oh, so that's why. Because when I was looking up the song, I just saw Ud. I never got the full name. Bobby.
Di nakikinig sa OPM. Yak! Di
If you see my playlist, it's Korean and Japanese.
Boo.
Get your shit together, man. We have so much good shit here.
I know.
And Trese proves that.
I know.
Not
And
the
I'm like,
music's
shit,
good
I gotta listen to more OPM. I'm like, this shit's so fucking good. This shit's so fucking good.
I think one of the Wind people is voiced by Sue Ramirez. I really liked her so that's a cool detail I found out. Like,
Edwin
years ago.
Sagot.
What?
Su Ramirez, sagot! Na-mention si Su Ramirez. Oh, sagot ka na! Who was the
I do.
character?
She's
Ay, do, grabe.
she's one of the wind people.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Oh, her, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
She was that in that. What was the name of that one movie?
She's in a lot of movies, bro.
No. Fuck.
The girl allergic to Wi-Fi. Is that the one?
No. What the fuck? What movie is that?
I don't.
No,
the
it was like one
movie.
of the four guys like kidnapping a rich kid from their school, and then they.
Shit, I forgot the movie. It's a good movie. But
Yeah.
Are you guys ready to move on to negatives?
This is gonna be a short segment.
Uh-huh.
Nope, it won't be a short segment for
Oh
me.
damn.
Not a short segment. I
Alright.
have a lot of negatives.
I do love make refs of the show.
Alright, Seb, would you want to go first for negatives?
Yeah, because ours is just gonna be short.
What's with you and going with the most expansive first and then going down to the least?
Fine, we'll
What?
save stuff for later. Chummer, do you have anything to say?
I'm sorry.
That's like going into sex and the first thing you do is come.
The foreplay comes later.
Foreplay comes later.
Taking off your clothes comes later.
Okay.
It's not even in there. God damn it.
What is Chummer? Negatives?
Carry on.
Negatives raw, Jomar.
Don't worry, negatives.
Aho.
Yeah, the shortest one.
sorry. But yeah, negatives. I wish there was more episodes. Yeah. All I got, not really. I do have some parts. Liza Sobrano. Hi.
Yeah, sure. Let's go for the
Look,
elephant in the room.
she's a really good. Hey, don't get me wrong. She's a really good actress. Like, I think she's a really good actress, but I think actresses and voice actors are kind of different. And it's kind of a hit or miss, maybe. Not really sure. But if she just put in a little bit of work into practicing, like more, I think she would have done way better. Like, if she just put in the work, maybe went through a couple of voice acting classes, she would have done it well. And Edwin mentioned this in our last podcast, where there's some kind of weird filter on her. Like she was like recorded in another room, not in a studio, just like maybe through her phone or something. I don't fucking know.
I have so much shit to say on this one. It's me.
Yeah.
But yeah, it just for me, it just chalks it up to her inexperience as a voice actress. Because like what Jomer said, actors and voice actors are different things. But there's some actors who can pull it off with the acting and voice
Nicolas
acting.
Cage.
Yeah, and then another good example is Mark Hamill. You
Exactly.
can easily pull that shit off. But yeah,
But,
you can see the inexperience, and hopefully as time goes on, it improves.
yeah, she gets better. Like I don't mind her as Trese. Just get better.
Yeah.
And go hard.
Edwin.
Said, don't look at me like that.
Go hard, man.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Negatives. Okay. Let me start by saying that the pacing in the show is fucking atrocious at times. Like the show only has six episodes, and it covers so much fucking material. What the fuck are all these different tribes about?
What are the terms of this contract?
What are the terms of this contract?
Nah, they just said yes.
Yeah, there's just so much about this world that we don't know about that it kind of hurts the show in the long run, and things that maybe should have been like really impactful in this show weren't as impactful as they could have been had they given the show the episode count that it needed, which it, like we were saying earlier, probably like double what it has now, or 13 if you want to fit thematically with the show, I guess. that would have been a really good number. What else was I supposed to say? Fucking pacing. Oh god, I'm blanking.
Voices?
What was this?
Voices we already touched. Okay.
No, you touch on your version of that.
Yeah.
Like maybe you have a different take.
Yeah. Here's the thing, and like talking about the Tagalog dub. Okay, first of all, before I talk about that, I just want to say it's kind of a fucking shame that the show is animated for English first instead of Tagalog.
Trese was written in English.
Yeah, but
The
I'm
original
just saying,
material was written in English.
yeah, but I'm saying like animation wise, it's like it's personal preference for me. Like I wish, right?
The lipstick wasn't Filipino.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it was a little
Um.
bit off-putting.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Anyway, moving on to the actual voice acting. For the Tagalog dub, here's my thing with Liza Sobrano. It's just the voice itself. The voice itself. Like we're not talking about the actual acting. Like I could see it for Trese.
Yeah.
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 Like when you if you put an image of Trese in front of me, and then you give me Liza Soberano's voice, like on paper, it's pretty fucking good. Like
Yeah.
it's a voice I would hear on Thursday.
Yeah.
The problem is in the execution and just delivery of the lines, which again is just due to her inexperience as a voice actor. And voice acting is very, very fucking different from traditional acting. And I just wish they like. It feels like they definitely splurged too much. Like I was saying about how this show is really front loaded. Like you have all these like big names and star power attached to the show, but they might not have been the best for it. It's a give and take kind of thing. And then when I was listening to the Tagalog dub, I don't know if it was just me, but the way like Liza Sobrano and Trese's lines were recorded sounded really like kind of off to me. It might have been something like the compositing or the compression. It just sounded really fucking different from the rest of the voices in the show, at least to me. So like that just makes me wonder what happened during the actual production of the show. Like,
Yeah.
did they have Liza recorded somewhere else? Were they using different equipment, or I don't know what the fuck happened, but it just kind of took me out of it.
Yeah. One thing I would
Uh,
like to point out too is that for the English version, most of the voices are like Latino, Latina. Like you can always tell that. I wish they got more Filipino sounding people to be
Yeah,
in the English one.
that's another thing with the English voices is that they all fucking sound kind of Mexican.
Mexican.
Yeah, it's like no fucking Filipino sounds like this, bro.
Orale!
Yeah. I get it. Like I get it. Like at the end of the day, Philippines is kind of like island Mexico. But am I wrong?
Archipelago Mexico.
You're not wrong.
No,
Archipelago
we were invaded by
Mexico.
Spanish.
Yeah, we were both colonized by the Spanish for hundreds of years, but that's the point. Yeah, so that was weird. I haven't really listened to the Japanese dub, but okay, here's a funny detail. Like all the languages this show is available in are the languages of all the countries that ever colonized us.
It was so funny that they made a Spanish version just to just.
Yeah, like I saw Spanish, I was like, correct.
There's also a French version that just released right now.
I mean,
Oh,
they
that's
did that.
great. That's great. I want to
they?
hear that.
Oh, them speaking in Tagalog, like the incantations. Oh my god, that's gonna be horrible.
Have you heard the incantations in the Japanese dub? Like
What?
like for anybody like who has watched anime for any period of time, like you know how they butcher English words, you know how they butcher German words. It's the exact same deal with Filipino with Tagalog words.
It's like, what the fuck are you saying?
Yeah, it's like, like the Japanese dub is generally solid, and like all the dubs across the board are generally solid, except when it comes to the fucking incantations. And that one, I'm just like,
Damn.
I let.
I will say the voices when
Let's
they
go.
in like in the Japanese dub, when they start speaking in Tagalog, it sounds like one of those. Have you ever had a friend who speaks Tagalog but watched a little too much anime and they started getting the accent of Japanese a little bit?
I
No,
think that's just you, bro.
No.
that is
I
me.
think this is you.
Exactly,
That's
I
just
am
you.
that friend.
Oh,
And I was
okay.
like,
That's
shit,
just
I'm
you,
like,
man.
You're under the impression we're friends?
Someone please meme that.
Damn.
Please meme that. Joe was like,
but, yeah,
That reaction was so authentic.
but yeah, it gave me that vibes, and I was like, shit, that sounded like this. I don't like it. I don't speak that much Tagalog as well, so.
um, so weird to
So,
hear the word bossing in the context of English. It's like, oh my god, shut up.
Do we say bossing?
In English?
Sometimes.
No, I mean
Sometimes.
like in that kind of context where you talk to your boss.
Yes.
You do? I just hear boss lang. Like, bossing is like a tropa kind of thing. From what I've heard.
I would call some fuckers bossing.
Hmm.
Surely.
I would do.
Plus, they're siblings. So I think it's a nickname too, to a certain degree.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
Nickname and some backstory that we never fucking got because it was only 6 episodes long. All right, I remember
Crispin
when I
and
was
Basilio are her stepbrothers. So maybe they call her bossing ironically. Sorry, Ed, that was the first time I've cut you off during this entire thing.
No,
I'm so sorry.
no.
You know I love
no,
you.
no. I only made that face because step bossing.
Bossing?
What are
I
you
don't
doing,
know how
step
to-
bossing?
I don't know how to make pasta.
Step bossing. I don't know how to make pasta.
Bossing, help me, I'm stuck.
Stuck.
How are you stuck in the palangana?
Help me, step bossing.
Yeah.
God,
Yeah.
anyway, what I was saying is that shit, I lost it again. Stop going.
Are you sure? Are you
Yeah,
completely sure?
yeah. I'll think about it, keep it in my head, and I'll come back to it when you're done.
Even Stephen Bloom had like a Latino accent. It's like,
Yeah, he had a
right?
Latino accent. I mean, he's a white dude. Give him some credit.
Okay, wait. I remember again.
Okay, there we go.
I remember again. Fuck. Let me fucking speak this time.
You shut up, you shut up.
Yeah, literally. Another issue I had with the show was the flashbacks literally taking half the episode.
Yes, yes.
Like, you have 10 minutes away from the actual like plot going on, and like the frustrating thing is that it has to be there to kind of flesh these characters out in whatever little way they can, because they only have 6 episodes, so
Yeah.
and they have way too much to like have to cover. So it was just frustrating, and again, just I just wish there was more.
The-
And, like
Yep.
they just
Sorry. Sorry. I'm so sorry. I love you, Edwin.
I love you. I love you all. Even when you cut me off. Uh, yeah, so it just makes the show feel really unfocused, and a lot of problems I have with a lot of media is when they just throw everything into the kitchen sink, either because they don't know what they're doing or they don't have enough time to do what they want to do. And in this case, the show didn't have nearly enough time to do what they want to do. Like you see parts of it in the show, like everything they're aiming for, but the thing is, we just don't have the runtime to kind of cover all of it in a way that's completely satisfying. So it ends up hurting the show a fair bit, I would say.
But shit, I lost my train of thought. Seb.
So, It's
Are you
just,
sure? Because you might cut me off all of a sudden and be like, I remember!
No, I completely forgot it.
Alright, so first of all, the length of this reminds me of what would have happened if like, Warner Brothers stuck with the Snyder Cut but decided to cut it.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
like, the Snyder Cut is 4 hours long because there's just 4 hours worth of shit to have to cover. It feels like what would have happened if you cut the Snyder Cut in half. Like, it would have still been good, but you would have still been like, there's a lot here we're not seeing. Um,
Yeah.
and that's how this felt. Uh, Overall, like, I think it's just a matter of the fact that I don't think they really expected it to be this good. I don't think Netflix expected it to be as successful as it has become. So I understand why the studio was hesitant. But the problems on the show are very much worn on its sleeve for me. Like, you could see it. Um, all right, on the voice acting front, I think all of you are wrong for the most part. Um, the problem with Liza is not delivery, because she obviously nailed the Trese voice. Like, this is kind of like shitting on Kristen Stewart for being a bad Bella Swan. Like, Bella Swan was portrayed perfectly in Twilight. It's Bella Swan that's the problem. Like, she's a shit character. Like, that's exactly how Bella Swan would have acted. And Trese, that's kind of like how Trese would have acted anyway. Like, her voice was correct. The intonation of her voice is correct. Like, that's exactly how I would think would sound. But the problem is, someone signed off on that delivery. I have more of a problem with the person who went like, "Yup, that's the take."
Yeah.
right.
Like, all of the
Yeah.
shit that she was doing wrong could have been solved by someone going like, "All right, Liza, that was good, but say it like this. Add a little bit more emotion." Like, that would have solved all of the problems with Liza's performance. The other problem, that one I agree with, is that Liza definitely sounded like she recorded somewhere else. It sounded like she was a foot away from the mic at all times. She sounded far away from the mic. Her mastering was abysmal. It just doesn't sound like she was recorded in the same place as everyone else. Everyone else sounded great, but Liza sounded like she was recording with gaming headsets to her laptop or something.
Yeah.
I'm wearing a gaming headset, dumbass.
Yeah.
So am I.
That's how it felt like to me. Liza seemed to have been recording somewhere else, and someone signed off on her delivery. When I feel like someone could have told her and directed her in a direction where it would have sounded better. In fact, perfect. Um, if they just made her do a couple more takes. I think they spent a lot of money trying to get people like Shay Mitchell and Dante Basco and Liza into this. They forgot that the budget might run out if you can't afford these people for a certain number of fucking hours. So I don't think they had enough time to work with Liza to make her do this well. I also think she was recording somewhere else, but this could have all been fixed had someone not signed off on the takes that did happen. The incantations in the languages I've seen, which is Tagalog and English, were shit. Um, uh, Liza's and Shay's both sucked, but I actually think Shay's was better than Liza's.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
Agreed.
I would say so too.
um, but Shay really plays the character well. I really like the way she played the character. Uh, all the voice acting was really good. Liza's delivery was just poor and poorly directed. And I think the Tagalog version had a problem in the fact that they decided to use formal Tagalog. An unnecessarily formal Tagalog in the script. It sounded like it was someone like it Gab expanded on this. It sounded like an expat wrote the script.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like,
Yes.
it's
Very
someone
much
who's
so.
been studying Tagalog for several years but never lived here. It sounded like someone like that wrote the script.
Yeah.
And that is a problem presented by this movie. Like, it really doesn't sound like it comes from a person who wrote it here. It doesn't sound like natural, fluid, conversational Tagalog. It sounds like someone who learned Tagalog wrote the script, and that's why it feels off. So to me, all of the faults with the Tagalog dub are with the fact that you didn't just get a Filipino scripter to do the script, or at least
Yeah,
that's how it felt like.
Yeah, the
Um,
we
mm,
don't talk like that.
yeah, yeah. I was just gonna say really quick. The Tagalog dub just felt like a very literal translation of the English script.
mhm. Like
Yeah.
really
And
good Google Translate.
yeah,
Yeah. Um, the pacing was pretty shit sometimes, but yun nga, they only had 6 episodes to work with. I think they should stop blowing their load with this. Like, I think they should be more patient with their storytelling. I think their visuals are amazing. I think Netflix just needs to give these people a lot more time to do their work properly. Um, but other than that, I liked it, and I really don't like how many people are shitting on Liza on this. I really don't think it's her fault. She could definitely do better. Um, but I think all of the criticism on Liza, for the most part, should be put on the people who, one, wrote the thing, and second, signed off on those takes.
Hmm.
The recording of it, it just sounds like she wasn't there. Like she wasn't at that same studio. That's my problem. Um, but yeah, other than that, I don't really hate that much about it. But I don't like how the audience have jumped to conclusions saying that it was her fault. Because like Liza Soberano has delivered some pretty good acting performances within her history of doing this. Um, so I don't understand why someone didn't work harder and put in more time into her getting to deliver her lines better. It's not like Trese talks a ton, you know. Like she is the main character, so she has a lot of lines, but like she's not necessarily a talkative person.
Yeah, a very reserved kind of character.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yes, they. I feel like they blew their budget a lot on making sure there was star power here. That they forgot that they should really just focus on um having people who can do the job fluidly and easily outright. Someone who doesn't need a lot of learning. Like to me, Angel Oxin would have been a perfect Trese.
mm,
Mm.
Um, I heard Inka's rendition of it. I actually don't think Inka would be a good Trese. Inka's
no,
really good at what she does, but I think she would have been like a really good, like more adult character. Like her
Mm.
voice just sounds way mature to be Trese. But
Yeah.
like definitely Trese's mom maybe would have been great.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
I can see that.
Yeah. Uh, but um, I agree with the voice acting community's take on Liza. I don't think it's Liza's fault that the performance was a bit subpar, and I do mean a bit. It's not as bad as everyone's saying it is.
it's nowhere near as bad as people say it is. Like,
Yeah,
people shit on it way too much for what it
yeah,
actually is.
yeah. I think at this point it's just people hating a little too much. It's not that bad. I have heard much worse, much worse acting
There
from
have been
other
worse.
places. Yeah.
X
Uh,
Men cartoon in the '90s. Anybody?
Or the first Resident Evil game or the early Resident Evil games.
House of the Dead.
Sean. I'm just
Sean!
Press X to
Sean.
Sean.
Hey,
Sean.
Sean.
that was good voice
Sean.
acting,
I know
but
I'm
you
just,
just
That's
randomly
just
saying
funny.
Sean. I'm just randomly saying Sean because like you guys were mentioning video games and I just can't stop thinking about press X to Sean.
What game was that again? Heavy Rain, right?
every rain.
Heavy Rain.
There we go.
Yeah.
Sean.
Sean.
Sean!
Any last negatives to add?
Uh, it's a really good show. So if I had a message to say to the creators, is that you have to understand and trust your material as being good. Your material is good. It's enough. You don't have to star power the shit out of this for the sake of, having star power. Like I think you guys have the luxury now that you've established that you can do something good to make it great. So be patient with how you present these stories so that we can immerse ourselves in it more, so that we can patronize something for a longer amount of time. And for the people in charge of this, it's easily a good investment. So go for it. Like fucking go ham on the culture, fucking go ham on Philippine media, and go look at our other shit, man. Like Trese is not our only thing. There are like other things that are from this country that are objectively really great. Like check out Salamanca. Like just fucking visual spectacles from our local creatives, man. Like we have so much good shit here. Um, and if people just take some time to check it out, they'd find out how that like we have a fucking gold mine here. Like with just the sheer amount of Filipino artists that work for Marvel and DC, you should know that when it comes to comics, we know our shit. A Filipino created Jonah Hex.
Hmm.
A Filipino created Star Lord. So when it comes to comic universes, I'd like to think we know our shit. Lena Liu did Secret Invasion.
Yes.
So come on. Hit us up, Hollywood. We got some good shit over here.
Yeah,
Just
hell
hand
yeah.
us the fucking money, give us the fucking trust, and us Filipinos will deliver. Clearly, we can. So, check our shit out. And for the people watching this who are from here, dude, good shit's right at home. You don't have to go to Japan. You don't have to go to the US. We have such a great creative artistic community here. If you would just take time to go to venues, to go to conventions, to go to signings, you'll realize that like Filipino greatness is not exceptional. It's the norm. This false sense of like Pinoy pride over someone who gets famous abroad, dude, if you would patronize their shit here, then they'll look for it from there, man. Like we have so much good shit here. Tres is just the tip of the iceberg. Um, just take the time out, man. Like our material is not expensive to buy. Like before Trese became a show, you could easily buy Trese for like a couple $100 a volume, which beats getting one super thin 6-issue volume of a DC storyline. Like you don't have to look far to find great material. You can find it right here at home for fucking pennies. Like get on that shit. Like stop thinking that like Filipinos can't do things that are good and exceptional because we regularly display that shit. Like Ben and Ben is good as music, but like there are a ton of great musicians in this country.
Yes.
You know? I'm not saying Ben and Ben is bad. You know, Jam, you're one of my best friends, so I'm never gonna shit on any of your stuff. Botch, what's up, bro? Uh, but people are very ignorant of just how exceptional we are as creatives, and we work with shit gear most of the time. Just imagine how great we could be if we had all the money in the world to expand, expound, and uh release our culture into this world as we are. Like obviously we don't have to whitewash it. We don't have to have like a group of fucking white people telling us how Filipino we can be. Like we have interesting stories to tell and we're good at telling them. We just need the people in charge with the fucking money to start listening. Cuz Trese was being fucking pitched to local networks here for like a decade. No one ever took it. Not one. But once Netflix took it, everyone wanted to start fucking taking notice.
Hmm.
It didn't have to be that way. Tres is a great show, and I'm glad that it's getting the spotlight it has now. But I do have a problem with the fact that local networks refuse to use the original material we have from great creators we have. Our local our local networks have to start believing in the fact that we can create something good with substance that isn't a fucking telenovela.
Or a ripoff of the Arrow show. It's like, why?
Oh
Or
Jesus!
fucking
What was his
long-term.
name?
alias Robin.
Robin Hood. Like, what's
Alias
that?
Robin Hood.
They even had their own
Jesus.
version of Slade. It's like, oh, Jesus Christ.
Oh.
But yes, if you're Filipino, please support the local comic industry. There's a lot of passion that goes into it. And please go to one of the Comic Cons. Comic Con with the K.
Even if you're not Filipino, like look
Please
into
come
the
Yeah,
here.
just look it up. Like,
Yeah.
if you like the music here in like Trese, fuck, there's much more.
Yes.
I've been out of the gig scene in a while, so
We
Yeah.
become so global. Like the Philippines has become so globalized to the point where our content is very easily accessible. You just have
Yeah.
to look for it. You just
Yes.
have to want to look for it. And
Dude,
you'll find it.
we got so
There's so
much
much of
good shit. We got guys like fucking Ash Katabona. We have Rislan Sang, and we have Clara Benin. We have fucking One Click Straight. We have Nathan and Mercury. We have, Four of Spades' material. One Carlos is really good. We have Shanty Dope. Like,
Yes.
all of these guys are releasing material that isn't just good but great and uncompromisingly from here.
Yes. And wasn't one of Shanty Dope's tracks in Falcon the Winter Soldier?
Yep.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Amats.
Amats.
There we
Amats.
go.
Amats is actually a really good song. Like legit,
Yeah.
like a really good song that has really deep and good subject matter put into it. And this guy's like young as fuck, like way younger
Mhm.
than me. So yeah, like we have really good creatives. Please support the shit out of them.
Yes.
Please please don't make it please don't have it be a Netflix show that becomes your entry into this. Don't have artists fucking resent you for the fact that they had to go somewhere else just to be appreciated, because it's right here in front of us.
Yes.
And they're constantly pulling out material and printing this shit themselves. Did you know that Trese's first few volumes are printed on Xerox paper?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
Now that's starting rock bottom. Goddamn.
So can you imagine how stupid people feel now that they don't have those Xerox paper issues? Because now
I'm
you
pretty
can
sure-
probably grade that shit and get an easy 6K out of it.
I was gonna say you could grade that shit now.
Yeah.
Like,
So
fuck.
like, it's right here, and you'll never know when it's gonna blow up. And don't
Yeah.
wait for it to wait. Don't wait for that to happen, man. While these guys are small creators, get to know them, shake their hands, talk to them about their material, because these guys are the nicest motherfuckers in the world.
Yes.
They are such nice people. You have no idea. I have collections of sketches from these people, and I had conversations with them about their material, and they're so passionate, they're so kind, they're so generous. So support these people because they're working really hard, and their material is not subpar at all. Like, if you guys are fucking weebs, try your best to be a Filipino weeb. I swear, it's so fucking worth it. The art community, the creative community, on whatever thing you want to get into, it's really good here. And I am, of course, saying that as a member of that community, but I'm also saying that as a person who used to not be. For majority of my life, I wasn't really raised on local material. Once I got to college, I was very much exposed to a lot of it, and I'm so thankful that I got familiar with it before it really blew up, and now it's starting to. So people who are from here, support our shit, guys, because we really have some good stuff going on. And if you patronize it, then the art will elevate. Like, we won't just have the same story about a child lost at birth who hates her sister for some bullshit and an affair and shit like that. Like, it doesn't have to be that forever if you guys would choose to support different material. So do so. So things will change and get better for all of us.
Yes. Evan, drummer, any last negatives or thoughts before we go to the rating?
Yeah, pretty much. Seb pretty much covered it for me. So
Yeah, Sub pretty much covered everything I have to say as well. Just support locals, bro.
Yeah.
I just more locals. Fuck.
Now I
There's
just
so
missed.
much good shit.
Now I just
Yeah.
missed the local conventions like Comic Con and Toy Con. God, why?
Dude, I miss
I
going
miss-
to gigs.
I miss
Oh.
Asia Pop Comic Con. I miss going to gigs. I miss hanging out with my friends.
Yeah.
Man, these guys are the coolest fuckers ever, man. Like, I've only done a couple of gigs with the Ben and Ben people, Jam used to play drums for us back when I was in bands. And these guys are the nicest fuckers ever. Like to this day, like these guys do not act like the famous people that they are. You know, like uh sure they've really blown up, but when you see these people as people who knew them before they blew up, man, it's just we're all just old friends, man. And like these people can become your friends too, like build relationships with the artists you admire that are from here, because most likely they will cultivate that relationship and appreciate you for that support. I know that the few people that have really supported Culture Pit, we remember them, we befriend them, and we have actual friendships with the people that support us. So we're all working hard, we're all doing our best. We just really need local patronage. Like we don't want to run away from this. We want to do this here. We want to let people know that there are a ton of Filipinos just like us who like the shit we like, and we want to build these communities. Let's keep it growing, guys.
Yes.
Yeah, agreed.
Please let the communities of both Geeks and Degenerates and Culture Pit grow, because we're all having fun making this content.
Yeah, but we're also working hard for it.
Yes,
Mhm.
sir.
Sparing time for making all the videos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go to the ratings. What would you guys rate it? Evan, why don't you start us off?
Okay, so while I did go on about my negatives with the show for a bit, and while those problems do remain for me, I still enjoyed my time with the show a lot. And like I was saying earlier, everything they need to make the show great is already in the show. They just need the time and the patience to actually show these things in full. And if they can do that, then like the like the show very much has potential to stand up there with the best of them. Like I truly believe in that, and I really believe in the show and its content, its writing, and just what it has as a whole. Not just as a Filipino, but as a fan of comics and shows and folklore in general. So with all that in mind, what while there are a few things that hold this show back from being as good as it truly can be, I still heavily enjoyed my time with the show, and it was more than enough to hook me and keep me wanting more. So I'm gonna give this a 7.5. Yeah, 7.5.
Yeah. For me, I really did enjoy the show, and I did not see the negatives that they saw until they pointed it out to me, and I pretty much realized it. But yeah, I really did enjoy the show by the end of the day. Like, yeah, no matter the faults, I really did enjoy it, and I'm so happy that Filipino artist gets their spotlight this time. And yeah, I'll give this one a solid 8 out of 10. Even though I had some gripes with it, I still find this as a solid fucking show, and I really want to see more. I really do.
Yeah.
Yeah, how about you, Sub?
Oh,
Oh, yeah,
that's
fuck
fine.
you.
Sub can go
Yeah, fuck
first.
you. Go, Seb.
I'm gonna stand by my review and give it an 8.5. If you want that review again on a fucking Culture Pit, it's on
Yes.
fucking Culture Pit. It's on Facebook
Facebook.com/culture.
Facebook.com/Culture Pit. Yep.
We'll link it down
Yeah,
below. Don't worry.
Shameless plug.
yeah. That's what I gave it in my review. I stand by it. The problems I have are very few. The pacing issues are a thing, but it is what it is. I do believe that the show has a lot of time and enough patronage uh, to expand on the things that I feel like we should have seen more. So I will give it an 8.5 for what it is.
Yeah, negatives aside from the fact that they should have brought the best out of Liza, that they should have gone with more takes, not just with the take they got, and the pacing issues and the whole lengths of the episodes that should have been, or of the show that should have been expanded more to expand more of the lore and the characters. Aside from that, I really like how this brings Philippine culture and mythology to the forefront of the world, and it's not afraid to show the less prettier sides, the ugly sides of our culture, which is really good in my opinion. That you have to show this aspect of Philippine life. So I'm gonna go ahead and give this a 8. I'm also gonna give it an 8 out of 10. It's a really good start, and I hope as time goes on, it will improve. And as Evan said, it has the capabilities of being one of the best shows on Netflix.
Yeah, I will say though, for what they were given, they did amazing with the show. Like,
Dude.
like, just they did the best they could with what they had, and it was great.
Dude, the artist who did
I just wish they were given more to work with.
yeah. The artist who did the evil version of Trese, God damn. I'm looking at a picture of it right now. God dang.
I just really wanna see a Spawn show from the same animators. That's all I want.
Yeah. They did a really good job with gore, and it was tastefully done. Pa.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's why I think Spawn would be perfect by the same guys. It really would be.
It's like almost Castlevania levels of great animation, or like as good as the.
I'd say it's better, honestly.
I'd say it's better than Castlevania.
Oh,
I think the lighting was significantly better. The coloring and the lighting was
Yeah.
significantly better.
Lighting,
Castlevania has
animation,
a-
and sound design,
yeah.
I would say, are all better.
I-
than Castlevania.
I think the problem with Castlevania is Castlevania has this weird thing for muting all of their colors to a certain degree, which I don't like. It kind of feels like there's a layer of fog over everything. Yeah. That's my issue with Castlevania, but like that's not this.
Right.
Before we end, what other, for the next few seasons, what other
Seb, shut up.
what other voice
Kanina ka pa, pucha.
what other
Huh?
voice actors would you think make a great fit into the world of Trese, whether it be the Western or local?
Damn, I don't know much about voice
I
actors.
I just think Angel Oxin would have been a great Trese. That's all I can say about that. Everyone else on the Tagalog cast was perfect. Liza's performance was subpar, but also I think Liza's good for it. I think everyone on the American cast was good except for Dante Basco.
Oh,
Surprisingly
really?
enough, he just doesn't look like that character. That's my problem. Like I love Dante Basco, I just don't think he looks like that character. I think Dante Basco could have been someone else.
I mean, don't have to worry
Yeah.
about it because that character's dead. So.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
true.
Like I feel like Dante would have been great as Crispin and Basilio.
All right. I would like to see Inko be in like season 2 or season.
I would love to see Inca
Yeah.
go into season 2. I think there's this guy I follow on TikTok, Dre something. Fuck. I can't remember his name, but follow this guy on TikTok. Dre Gaspar. Follow him on TikTok. He's really fucking great. I don't know what character, but I just want this guy to get a role because he's really good.
Yeah.
Since we're on the topic of voice actors, we want to see Netflix. If you're listening, and I doubt you are, but just in case, I'd like to throw my hat in the ring.
Yes.
Please,
Yes,
Yes.
yes,
I would love to do this.
yes,
Yes,
please. I
yes.
want to hear Edwin. I want to hear Edwin in a fucking Trese episode, or at least the whole.
I mean, motherfucker, if we're talking about ourselves, put me in that shit.
let me be Jeep driver number 2, please.
Let me be the next main villain. My God, I've lived this my entire life. Pay me for it.
Please.
Trese, don't run. It's like, oh shit,
No.
I said. I saw a comic.
Seb's gonna kill me for hugging you. Open the door.
I saw a comic of Trese. I don't know if it's official, but this is a comic of Trese meeting Bruce Wayne and Logan, and then Bruce Wayne and Logan are wearing like Baron.
I think Kajo did that. I think
Yeah.
Kajo did that. I don't
that,
think
that
it
was
was.
sick.
I don't think it's licensed, but Kajo did do that.
Yeah.
That's
like a-
actually him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really want to see the.
Oh, by the way, one thing that you guys probably didn't spot: Kajo and Budget were victims.
Yeah, they already
They did cameos as two victims. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what,
Yeah. Like there are two files that Lexi Trese looks at,
Yeah.
and it's budget. The second one is budget. The first one is Kajo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's sick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I
they're
really,
they're they're in the show, and now they can't continue the comics because in the universe they're dead.
shame,
Oh,
shame,
sure.
we lost him. I really want to see that tikbalang like pulling the kalesa. I really want to see that in the show.
Oh yeah, that was a really good panel.
Yeah.
Probably the best page Kajo's ever drawn for Trese.
It's one hell of a Kalesa ride, though. It's like,
I
oh,
mean,
man.
like Trese can handle it. You know, like with just the sheer amount of effort she puts into making her hair look like that every day. She
Every
can take her
morning before
colors.
she sees Captain Guerrero.
She's just like, does my hair look like it has the outline of devil horns already?
Yeah,
Captain Guerrero.
First of all, Captain Guerrero, how's my hair? I spent so much time on my hair before I arrived here.
I used
Oh,
to
that
need
was
a
another
hairspray.
Dude, like the way they decide, they like pronounce certain words, like beautiful.
beautiful. Yeah. I mean,
Beautiful.
was
Dude,
this
that was a
Jobert?
great detail. That was a great detail. Like at other times, it sounds like they're all Mexican, and other voices are just perfectly fucking Filipino
Yes.
Yeah.
in the English dub. And the ones that are perfect Filipino are like, oh, chef's kiss type shit. Really
Like-
good.
Uh, I mean, I say Jobert did a pretty good job. I think. Did he? What do you guys think? The computer ghost nerd.
I like Jobbert.
I like Jobert.
I love Jobert, dude. His name is Jobert.
His name is Jobert.
Like I don't really care about what he does. I just care that his name is Jobert, and he's like Wade from Kim Possible, but dead.
Dead in Filipino.
Yeah,
Wait, question. Was this?
dead in Filipino and still having problems with the Wi-Fi.
I love how Tressa cares so much about this dude as when they attacked Jobert. And she's like, he's dead. Oh, right. Forgot he's a ghost.
But hey, they fucking killed the white lady of Balete Drive, so like
That's
that is something to worry about.
The White Lady of Baleta Drive.
To
I'm sorry.
to any foreigners
Ooh,
watching,
Lady ng Baleta Drive.
to any foreigners watching this video, that is real. Please, when you come to this country, go to Baleta Drive and
Go
see
to
the
Baleta
ghost.
Drive.
Yeah.
being
Dude, when I found out the white lady was killed, I was like, is it safe now to go to Balete Drive at any time of night? Like, she's gone now. Like, Balete
But
Drive
we
is
all
actually... Dude, Balete Drive's like really near my place. I'm like, can I just hang out there now? Like, is there nothing to worry about? She's dead.
Alright, to be specific, you gotta go there at 3 a.m.
I'm awake
And you have
at
to
3
drive a
a.m.
car.
sometimes.
Yeah, you have to drive a car. Yeah.
Okay, I'll bring the car.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah.
But
I
yes.
mean, you boys G?
Yeah.
Sure.
G.
I got time.
But yeah, that has been our video for Trese. What do you guys think of the show? If you liked it or you didn't like it, just comment below. Be civil as always. As always, you can find Edwin at twitch.tv/Urity, streaming Final Fantasy 14 and all other goodness. When do you stream for Filipinos and fellow Canadians, Edwin?
For in Pacific time, I stream on Tuesdays, Fridays, and Saturdays at around 6:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time.
I don't know how to do a
Philippines,
floss.
in the
I don't
Philippines,
know how to
that
do a
would
floss
translate to Wednesdays, Saturdays, and Sundays at around 9 a.m. So, if you're awake, if you want to chill, if you want some memes, come drop by, come hang out, come vibe.
Seb, where can people find you?
Facebook.com/RealCulturePit. Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at CulturePit, and TikTok at CulturePit Gaming. Motherfuckers.
John, where can people find you at Baleta Drive anytime soon?
Wow.
Jomar doesn't have any social media, so he's just telling
Just find him in
telling the
Valentine.
audience
You can find me in Divisoria, man. It's fine.
to find Jomar somewhere randomly in public. Hey, we follow you.
Hi. But yeah, you can follow me at Jom, Geom, all cap. Instagram.
Or rather, Guillaume.
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 If you want to piss me off, fine, Guillaume.
Guillaumer.
Jom.
Guillaumer.
Yes.
To be honest, I think if anybody else saw that and they didn't hear me pronounce it, they would have pronounced it that way.
Probably. But yes, as always, thank you for watching our videos. Stay awesome, and please continue to follow social protocols, social distance, wear a mask, get vaccinated if you can, so we can finally end this pandemic and we can finally hang out with friends at last. But yes, I'll see you all next time. Goodbye, everybody.
Get vaccinated, bossings.
Ciao.
Yes. Ha. 3, 2, 1. Hello! Welcome to all you geeks and degenerates. Welcome back to another episode of our podcast. Today we'll be talking about Trese, the first Filipino anime series. I don't know why you guys are laughing, but we are just...
It was a stutter, man.
Stuttered at the fucking intro. Hello.